Hey everybody, welcome back. Again, Tony with Shinsho Yoga, and today I'm going to continue with my little series here on lunges with the high lunge. So did two previous videos on Anjayasana, low lunge, and then the runner's lunge. And again, if you haven't seen those, I'll put a link to them because I'm just going to build off what I've done with those. As all of these poses have similar energies, similar feels, and they're accessing similar muscles, but again, subtleties and differences between them have different benefits and will offer different challenges to each person. So the high lunge, we're going to be coming into similar that we would come into the runner's lunge. The Anjayasana, our low lunge, where we're bringing our knee down, on top of the foot down. This one, we won't be doing that. Just as we do in our runner's lunge, in our high lunge, we're going to maintain the height in the back leg. We're going to stay on the ball of the back foot. The knee remains off the mat. And again, that driving back of the rear foot and those hips moving forward. The difference in this one is we're going to rise up. Where in our runner's lunge, we stay low and we bring that chest forward, moving that heart forward, bringing the eyes up, shoulders roll back. In our high lunge, we're going to rise up, bringing the arms above the head, right? Palms facing in. This is going to require a little bit of balance, because to transition from that low area to the high area is going to require balance to do that. They're going to require some openness in the muscles, certain strength in certain muscles, and also focus. The most important thing in any type of balancing pose, and this is going to be somewhat of a balance, it's not a traditional standing balance pose, but it has aspects of it. It is a standing pose and there is a balance involved. It's not like tree pose or half moon or peacock or anything like that. This is a lunge, so both feet will be on the ground. But as you are rising up and the legs are wide, there is going to be that challenge of maintaining the balance. So the best way to be successful on this is focus, right, and stance to get that rise up. Now, I talked about stance in the prior videos. In these, you want the hips forward. We don't want this askew, right, where one hip drives back, where one hip is back and the other one is forward, and the energy goes off to one side or the other. We want the hips square, right? So in order to square those hips, you need to take the stance a bit wider. We don't want the heels in line with each other. We don't want the feet in line. Again, this is not gymnastic, it's not dance. This isn't a balance beam we're working on. This is yoga. So you want everything to be square. So one foot, back foot, here and here, so you can drive the hips forward. And the heel of the back foot back, heels go forward. That'll offer you more of a stable base. So as you come to rise up, you can maintain the solidity of the pose and not all over the place. Now, if there's certain openness issues in the legs and the arms and the chest, wherever there are, you may do that. But having that stable base to start with is going to help you in your success of that posture. You know, when you're moving quickly through a vinyasa, people often get caught up in the movement. They go, teachers inhale, exhale, boom, 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 boom. It doesn't matter how fast the teacher is telling you to go, you still have to move with control. And if you need to move a little bit slower, then move a little bit slower. If you need to rest in child's pose, rest in child's pose. I'm not telling you if the teacher's moving at a pace like this for you to move like the old gray mare in the class, right? But there is a window in that of how quickly you need to move, right? And you can take the slower end to make sure that you're getting the alignment right and moving with control and not just whipping yourself through the pose. So make sure that you square those hips. Make sure the stance is wide enough that the hips point forward. And generally that's going to be that the legs are going to be the feet in line, hip distance apart, not in line this way, but in line with the hips, so this leg that way. Sometimes maybe you have to take a little bit more, and that's fine. You don't want to be all the way out here, right? But here or here. Right? So squaring of the hips is going to help you be able to rise up with control. So if you're going through a vigorous vinyasa, take that moment to square the hips. Just don't leap through it. Move with control. The other thing is focus. The key to any standing pose is focus. Right? Some are more stable than others, like a warrior, because your heels are going to be down. You don't really have to worry about so much falling over, but on something like this where you're up on the ball of your foot, there's more balance involved. No matter what balancing pose you do, focus. Right? So if you're in tree, if you're in revolved half moon, if you're in half moon, if you're in dancer's pose, whatever it is, focus. Even arm balances, right? It doesn't have to be just a standing one. It can be an arm balance. It's focus. Right? So when you're doing this, if you're looking around the room watching what everybody else does, or the teacher's over here talking and you're trying to come into it and you're looking at them, you're going to be all over the place because your energy is not going where it needs to be. Your energy is going everywhere else. This is huge in surfing, right? So a little bit of a surfing analogy here. One of the things when you surf, you always have to look where you want to go. You're always looking down the line. If you look down, you're going to go down. You don't want to wipe out, you bring your eyes up, you bring them down the wave. And when you're going to make turns in the wave, you look up the wave as you're coming up. And then when you want to come down the wave, you look down the wave. When you want to come back up, you look up the wave and you come down the wave, right? If you want to go forward, you bring your eyes forward. You have to look where you want to go. In balancing poses and standing poses, you have to bring your focus forward, lifting the eyes, find a point on the wall, something that isn't moving, and take a soft focus on it and breathe. If you're looking at everyone else around you, watching even the teacher, if you don't know what you're doing and need to watch a teacher, I understand. But if you know how to do this, if you've been in the class before, you have to take a focus to get it right. Otherwise, you're going to, and you possibly fall over, and that always feels uncomfortable in a class, especially if you're mat to mat on a busy Saturday or Sunday morning or a busy class anywhere, anytime. So, focus, bringing those hips square. That's going to help you be able to rise up and hold that posture with control. Okay? So, let's come into our high lunge. And I'm going to, again, come from a forward fold on this because generally, most of the time, you're going to see it from a forward fold. So, of course, in the fold, bending the knees as much as you need to, allow everything to spill forward. Often a teacher is going to tell you to plant the hands. I'm going to step the left leg back, right? I'm going to stay tall on the ball of the foot. I'm going to make sure my hips are squared. So I'm adjusting my front foot, taking it out a little bit, moving it forward, so I'm creating some more length. I'm driving that back heel back. From here, my eyes lift. Lift the eyes before you rise up, so you're having a focus of where you're going, and then again, we're going to sink into that front knee, drive that leg back. The arms are going to come up above the head. The palms are going to face in. The shoulders are going to relax. We breathe. Sinking where you can further into the posture. And do the opposite side now. Same thing. Coming from a forward fold. I'm going to take that right leg. I'm going to step it back. Again, I'm going to stay tall. The ball of the foot. I'm going to drive that back heel back. I'm going to adjust my front foot so my hips are square and I have enough room here so that I'm not just straight up, that there's room to sink with the hips. The eyes are going to lift. And then from here, rising up, sinking into that posture. Drive that back heel back. Allow the shoulders to relax. Allow the tailbone to sink, the crown to lift, and breathe. Sinking into the posture where I can. Coming back down with control. Again, I'm just transitioning from a fold wherever your teacher asks you to come from. That's not the only way to do it. I'm coming into it. So, again, openness in the inside of the legs is going to be important in this. The more relaxed the shoulders, the better. Lift those eyes. Bring them up. Square the hips. Breathe. Most important part. Don't worry about how well you do it as long as you put in an honest effort. Honest intention. Do the best you can for your body that day. How deep you get in the posture is going to depend on your body for that day. So breathe. Follow the breath. Honor your body. Do the best you can for that day. As the thoughts arise, acknowledge them. I'm going to pass by. Return to the breath. Thanks for watching. Namaste.